Mochi Bunny Girl 1/7 scale STD version by Omaha. They should have named this figure Herpes version maybe. Hi and welcome back to the channel. For today, we'll be taking a look at our monthly highlights figures released back in July 2023. Well, this video today is almost a week late. Normally, I publish it at the end of the month in July or in early August, but it is all thanks to Wonder Festival, which happened to be on the last 2 days of the month and also clashing with my figure news fix. So everything was thrown off course, right? I had to cover my figure news fix first, followed by One Fest coverage, and now finally our monthly highlight. Okay, as usual, we'll be in myfigurecollection.net, and then we go to the database and figures section. Okay, and then we go down to this month releases section, view more. And finally, these are the stuff released this month, but we are not interested in action figures for this channel and most of the male characters, but at least we can narrow things down here, category, and we go for pre-painted. So this removes most of the action figures or jointed figures. And of course, this list over here, this is actually August, you need to choose July. Right, okay, and these are the figures that is out in July, so you can actually go through the same list yourself, because some of the figures that are way too X-rated, I am not putting it on screen, just to save myself excessive censorship work. Alright, the first one over here from Higurashi no Nakukuro ni Sotsu. Yeah, Higurashi When They Cry, Hojo Sadoko 1/7 scale high school student version by Good Smile and Miyuki. So this is one of the few Miyuki scale figures. This is a relatively new brand, but I have very high hopes for them. I have high expectations for them because they have one figure from, they have one Oshino Shinobu figure, which I am pretty interested in. Oh, this pair, you see, Higurashi When They Cry, right? To me, it is hard for me to pick my favorite figure from this franchise, but this pair over here is quite close because of, they are in their school uniform, they are school children after all. But the one made by Miyuki, I think was the swimsuit version, that one was pretty nice as well. This pair over here, especially if you have both, they are really great to have. Like, they're taking selfie together. I like this setup so much, even though this is a pretty simple figure. The next one here we have from Nekopara, Vanilla 1/7 scale Lovely Sweet Time version by Plum. Actually, Vanilla and Chocola both are out on the same month, same day as well. 20,600 yen each. Well, there has been so many choices for these two characters in the market. I think my absolute favorites are still the ones made by Native. That is, if you can still find one at a reasonable price. Yeah, very inexpensive. But this pair over here, quite attractive for bikini figure actually. And of course, if you buy one, you need the other one. You need both, right? The next figure, okay, this one right here, and the next 5 figures also, they are all Wonder Festival Summer 2023 Limited. Yeah, the recent One Fest. They were announced around March, a few months ago, and then they went on pre-order, and then they were released during the Wonder Festival. So this one is my Tetsu Pure Station Hachiroku 1/6 scale limited extra color version, which means there is another regular version out there by QuestQ, and this one goes for 19,800 yen. Yeah, released during One Fest on 30th of July. Alright, my Tetsu Pure Station, and especially this character Hachiroku, this is already one of the more safer for work versions, right? Okay, I take that back. You can indeed cast her off. I think Alter also made a figure of this character, and you're getting 2 entire figures in the box. If I remembered correctly, that was really nice. This one, we are getting, cast off option over here. For me, if I were to collect X-rated figures, I would like all sizes and shapes, right? The big ones, the flat ones like this one, I want every single one of them just for the sake of the variety in my collection. The next one here, this is also a variant of an existing regular figure. They repainted the color slightly, and then One Fest Summer Limited once again. From that slime anime, we have Shion Okigae Mode Limited Extra Color version out on 30th of July doing One Fest, going for 14,800 yen. Now you see, this is one of the better looking figures of Shion, and yet very affordable. I think the regular version was around the same price. So if you could find one and you loved Shion, this is a nice figure to have. Of course, not a very detailed figure, just plain white shirt, undressed, unbuttoned, and black stockings, but still 15,000 yen, you get a nice face over there. There isn't really much to complain about. Up next, also a One Fest Summer Limited, Zettai Junbuku Maho Shoujo Suzuhara Misa 1/7 scale space suit version star white color by Quest Q, 21,200 yen. You see, figures that were just released just 2-3 years ago, when we look at the price right now, they seem to be rather reasonable, right? So figure prices in general, they have just started to go up really exponentially in the recent year or so. It is very recent. Once again, Raita art style, not really my cup of tea at all, but Questio makes excellent figures. The next one here, okay, this is also One Fest Limited from Toho Project Hata no Kokoro 1/8 scale Hyojo Yuta Kana Poker Face Light Edition Limited Extra Color version by Questio as well. Only 18,800 yen out during One Fest Summer on 30th of July. Okay, this figure, the other color, her shirt was blue color instead of black color. And if you were to ask me which color I prefer, I still prefer the regular version, which was blue color, because the blue color contrast really well with the orange color. We are looking at color theory over here. Cold versus warm color. Blue and orange, blue and yellow, they always go very well together. And in fact, the regular version that came out last year was being nominated by me as being one of the best figures of year 2022 itself, and that says a lot. Can get one for under 20,000 yen? Go and get one. Next one, also One Fest Limited. From that slime anime, we have Rimuru Tempest 1/7 scale Bunny Girl style limited extra color. Also by Questio. So Questio is doing a lot of this. Only 15,800 yen. I can't remember what the original color was. I'm assuming black color. Actually, this hot pink color suits her quite well. Yeah, I'm not complaining about this color over here. This color is quite nice for her, unlike that Toho figure earlier. Yeah, blue better over black. This is just a 1/7 scale Bunny Girl figure. Not the best Milim Nava figure for sure, but 16,000 yen only. Up next, we have 3 One Fest Limited figures by Union Creative from Ganbare Doki-chan, Mizugi style. So each of these go for 18,182 yen. Yeah, more like 20k including taxes, right? And to me, they are pretty overpriced. So the original version was black color. This one, they are painted in gold color. I mean, at first glance, this really looks like a price figure to me. The next one here, Kohai-chan, under the same series. Yeah, this one has a better pose overall, but it is just the better pose. And the third one, there you go. All 3 of these are limited. And the third one, this is Senpai-san. I was actually quite surprised by how different their sizes are. It almost feels like I'm looking at 1/8 scale figures being displayed together with a 1/6 scale. So what is up with this? Are their heights really that different in the anime? I did not watch the anime, by the way. Maybe Senpai is way taller than the other two. I need to watch it. And yeah, this is the limited version of Senpai-san. 18,000 yen as well. Once again, at first glance, looks like price figure to me. Barely anything going on. So feels pretty overpriced. The next one here from Amakuni, right? This has Amakuni is making Yu-Gi-Oh figures lately. Manjome Jun, Ojama Black, Ojama Green, Ojama Yellow. Oh, the 3 small things on the base there. Okay. 1/7 scale, 17,000 yen out on the 28th. You guys, Yu-Gi-Oh fans, you guys go for the expensive and rare cards, right? Not so much for collecting the figures, but if you do, all you guys need to know is Amakuni makes great figures. So if you are into collecting figures, yeah, these 2 over here, they are worth picking up. Up next, this is a not safe for work figure, Original Creators Collection Elimia by Native and Rocket Boy, out on 28th of July, 25,000 yen. For a figure brand which is among the better ones, if not the best ones, in the anime figure industry among X-rated figure brands. I mean, you compare it to Q6, to A+, to Daiki, to Kaitendo, and so on. They stand no chance against Native, right? Skytube is probably the next best thing after Native and their group. Despite being among the best, I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised on how they actually keep their prices in check. Yeah, 25k for a 1x6 is pretty nice for a high quality scale figure. Up next, from the Idolmaster Shiny Colors, Sonoda Gyoko 1x7 scale by Lee Kon. Okay, this is in collab with Shenhua Japan. Shenhua sounds like Chinese name to me. Anyways, this is going for 31,000 yen. Oh, this is so overpriced. Let's have a look. Yeah, just a plain 1x7 scale figure. Yeah, I get it. The outfit is really detailed, but really? 31,300 yen for this. This is before taxes. It is more like 33, 34k. Unless they're including that wall scroll over there, like including that 31k pricing, they include everything, then it somewhat justifies the pricing. The next figure over here made by Q6 is probably the first time in 69 years where Q6 made a figure of a female character with somewhat normal human proportions rather than having a pair of giant inflatable balloons on their chest. Yeah, so this one from Maitetsu Hinai Paulette 1x6 scale bikini version is only 18,800 yen. Q6 always gives value with the figures. They make the figures pretty large, 1x5, 1x6, and they ask barely 25,000 yen or less for their figures. So this is the normal color version right here, and there is a suntanned version. If I were to choose between the suntanned one and the normal color, I still prefer the normal color. For some reason, I have yet to see a figure brand that gets suntanned figures done right. The tan lines, they look rather unnatural in some way, and for this figure, it feels the same way to me. If she is wearing bikini, why aren't her torso, her body, her stomach area tanned at all? They are suggesting that she got those tan lines while wearing school swimsuit, right? The one piece blue color school swimsuit. Probably that is what they're implying over here, but to me it looks kind of weird when, yeah, the body does not have any tan when she is wearing bikini. So I still prefer the normal color version. Up next, from Toho Project, we have Izayoi Sakura by Epic Works 1x6 scale. I've never heard of this figure, like I wasn't aware this figure even existed. This one was out as a limited Wonder Festival. Okay, most likely this is very limited in production numbers because I don't remember seeing this figure being on pre-order in any Japanese websites as well. And if these are the only two pictures we are seeing over here, yeah, then most likely this wasn't available for sale outside of Japan. Mail orders via booth planned for both unpainted kits and custom pre-painted figures. Up next, from Nana. Okay, this is a classic Osaki Nana 1x8 scale by Hobby Max, 19,500 yen, out on 28th of July. This was a pretty old anime, right? I think it was manga and then it was adapted as an anime series in around the mid-2000s. So that was more than, yeah, almost 20 years ago, I think. Hobby Max is a Chinese brand, by the way. And the other character we just saw, Komatsu Nana, same price, same release date as well. This is so random because Hobby Max in recent year or so, they have been spamming Girls Frontline and Evangelion figures, the Radio Eva series, and out of nowhere, 2 Nana figures from them, which I wasn't even aware they existed. I don't know too much about Nana, but I know this is a pretty old series. Up next, from Kotobukiya Art FXJ series, we have Makima from Chainsaw Man, already out 14,800 yen only, out on 28th of July. Though this is one of the less inspiring figures of Makima, there are so many figures of her out there. Yeah, don't expect too much for this. We are already glad that Kotobukiya gets the face on their figures done right, but other than that, spray paint, plain white paint, spray paint, plain matte black and grey, and that is all we're going to get. No shading whatsoever on the paintwork. However, good photography, good lighting can still make the figure stand out. Like this one over here, Yeah, you can see the details, the folds on her clothes, right? This is all thanks to lighting when you take photos. Up next, okay, not safe for work figure, Jetai Junpaku Maho Shoujo, once again, Suzuhara Misa. Character selection, 1/6 scale bikini version by Native and Rocket Boy. This is only 22,000 yen, very nice. At 1/6, 22k out on 27th of July. So this is already nude straight out of the box, and you can actually put hands. Can actually put hands on it. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Like, this is something different for an X-rated figure, but at the same time, when you have two chopped off hands, I'm not too sure. Looks a bit creepy to me. Up next, we have original character Suzuhara Usaki by SkyTube and Alpha Max at 1/6 scale. This is going for 23,000 yen. Out on 27th as well. Okay, normally I find bunny figures a bit too common. A dime a dozen nowadays, way too many, but this is underneath a school uniform. I'm assuming this is a school uniform. Underneath, she is wearing bunny outfit, so at least something different for once. And interestingly, if you noticed, right, the stocking, she's not wearing the stocking fully as well. The stocking is also down to around the knees. So this is pretty nice. Up next, oh yes, Ichinose Asuna Bunny Girl version from Blue Archive 1/7 scale by Max Factory, out on 27th July, going for 22,500 yen, so it is more like 25k including 10% taxes. Up next, oh yes, Ichinose Asuna Bunny Girl version from Blue Archive at 1/7 scale by Max Factory. She is out on 27th July, going for 22,500 yen, more like 25k including 10% Japanese taxes. This figure has already arrived in my studio. It is right there in front of me, right there on my desk, since Monday, since almost a week ago. And the only reason why I have not made any video on her yet is because I was way too occupied with Wonder Festival. Both on YouTube and in my Facebook page, I have not yet had the time to film it yet, a proper review. However, do expect a detailed figure unboxing as well as a review from me this coming Thursday. That is my target, 10th of August, to get it out. So if you are interested in this figure, you have not purchased it yet, you want to know what the figure is like, yeah, please subscribe to this channel and keep on tabs on the upcoming review this week. I will release a short video of the unboxing maybe a day early on Wednesday, depending on how fast I can get the videos out. As for this figure, if you did not pre-order one and you want to pick one up today, I might not have good news for you because her value is starting to skyrocket. Unsurprisingly, because Blue Archive is, like I said in my previous videos, it is the next biggest thing, the next hot franchise that will flood the figure market with various figures. This is just the first Asuna figure. Good Smile and other brands they are making also. But so far, among the genuine figure brands, I still prefer the Max Factory one the most in terms of the face expression. So right here, you're looking at some comments at the bottom of the figure thread. Ninin Game is asking for 29,900 yen, 30k. And yeah, Solaris Japan over here is saying in stock for 40,000 yen. So I'm afraid you are a bit too late. Maybe can just pray and hope, that the price comes down once the demand falls. We can't be sure. The next one here, original character, I think, Bast Northern Tail 1/8 scale by Max Factory. And for some reason, this figure is 58,000 yen. That is what I was thinking. And then I saw the material polystone. That is why. Polystone is a very expensive material and also very fragile. But figures made by polystone, the amount of detail is at a whole different level. You can't replicate the kinds of detail with PVC and ABS. And I find it odd that they are releasing two different versions on the very same day. Normally would want to separate, there will be a separate time frame, right? You release the first color version, it becomes rare, and then, yeah, you put a second one up for pre-order with different color and you'll sell more as a result. Up next, we have, anyway, I just call this I Don't Want Pain. I call it that I Don't Want Pain anime. I'm too lazy to read the title. So this is Maple by KD Call at 1/7 scale swimsuit version by Kadokawa, 27,000 yen. Now this figure in is inexplicably expensive. It is way too expensive for what it is. 27,000 yen for a 1x7 scale figure with a simple base. Yes, I can blame this on licensing cost. Every franchise, every anime have different licensing cost. But Kadokawa themselves own the license to this anime, so I really have no idea what they are trying to pull here other than trying to rip off the fans. Yeah, this one as well, Sally, is also out on the same day. You guys hold the license, right? Why are you pricing it so high? If I want a figure of Maple, yeah, I would like her in her armor rather than in a bikini or swimsuit. Up next, from Kobayashi Made Dragon, we have Lulu Pajamas version by Good Smile Arts Shanghai. Now, Good Smile Arts Shanghai, when we see the brand name, we would assume it is Good Smile Company, right? Not quite. The Good Smile Shanghai branch, the China branch, and the Japan branch, they are quite different, and the figures they make, yeah, the level of quality is not the same. Now, this is still a pretty nice figure to have for 18,000 yen. Nice figure of Lulu. And even if the figure turns out to be not as good as Good Smile's very best, I think, yeah, it is still forgivable at this price, but ideally, we don't want a faulty figure. We don't want something with QC issues, right? There are actually users' photos over here. Let's have a look at the pictures. I think only one single user has posted the picture, right? They are all by the same person. Yeah, not bad at all. The paint work is... I can't really be sure whether the paint work, if there is any shading. I think there is, because the really bad lighting over here is clouding my judgment. Yeah, the lighting here is pretty bad. Let's have a look at this picture right here. Oh, look at that bear staring at her boobs. That is interesting. That is a very nice touch. I did not even notice it at all earlier. Yeah, I think this is a good figure to pick up. Up next, okay, this figure, I have actually covered it in Figure News Fix before a number of months ago. Niala 1x5 scale by Kaitendo. This is an original character, 25,000 yen almost, out on 26th of July, and there are two different color versions of this figure. This is the black version and tanned skin, and then this is the white version. Yeah, I prefer the tanned version. The tanned version looks better. This one looks a bit too white. And this, I could have mistaken this for Snow White compared to the Snow White we got in the recent Disney movie. Kaitendo, I mentioned it before as well, their figures are just average to below average. Don't expect too much details, but they do give you guys value, as you can see. 1x5 scale, but 25k only. Up next, from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Tachibana Arisu 1x7 scale by Plum. This one is out on 26th of July, and as you can see, 1x6 scale, 1x7 scale, my bad. 1x7 scale, 21,000 yen, that is great value. Yeah, Plum and their cute moe figures, they love making lolly figures, Plum. Normally, I'm not a fan of semi-translucent, semi-transparent parts on a figure, but for this character over here, it suits her very well. Maybe it is just the outfit and the design. You see, when figure brands, they use this material on school uniform just to give us that wet uniform look. Yeah, it looks really terrible, but for idol outfit like this, freely dressed, it is really nice to look at. Up next, okay, this is one of those figures which I highly recommend if you are interested in picking up figures from the Queen's Essential Quintuplets Gotobu no Hanayome. This series of 1x6 scale figures by Good Smile, they are among the best purchases. Yeah, you're not getting fancy wedding dress and so on, right? Personally, I'm so sick of wedding dresses and all those fancy huge dresses. And these slice of life style figures, right? I love them so much. And not to mention, they are affordable. This is 17,000 yen before taxes at 1x6 scale, 27 centimeters tall. This is a very tall figure. 18k for this is not bad at all, though I can expect a small discount on this figure. You might be able to pick one up for 15 or 16,000 yen even. This is a must-have. For any fans of Queen's Essential Quintuplets, my budget is quite tight at the moment. Otherwise, I would pick up all 5 characters for this 1x6 scale by Good Smile. I would love to have it. Seriously. Next one here from Idolmaster once again, Cinderella Girls. We have Sakuma Mayu off-stage version 1/8 scale by Kotobukiya. There are two different versions of this figure, though I suppose you already know the difference. Yeah, Kotobukiya shop exclusive, you get an extra faceplate if you cough up more money in their own website. This is the regular version here, 18,000 yen, out on 25th of July. Now, even without the exclusive parts, this faceplate looks nice enough. The exclusive one, yeah, you're getting this smiling face expression. I would say that this face expression is nice to have, but not really a must. Up next, original creators collection Akari 1/5 scale by Frog and Native. This is going for 24,000 yen, out on 21st of July. 25k for 1/5 scale, but then this, oh okay, based on this artwork. MILFs, not my kind of figure really. The next one here from Overlord, we have Albedo 1/7 scale ending version by Spiritiel and Wing Company, 24,000 yen, out on 21st of July. Nowadays, you won't find Albedo for 20,000+ yen, right? So go for it while you can, because nowadays a new Albedo figure announced today and coming out next year will be 28, 29k minimum, and it can go over 40,000 yen even because of her wings. Though, of course, this one is probably cheap because we are getting only one wing in a way. Yeah, because she is lying flat, you know, so the other side of the figure, we're not getting the other wing. It looks quite nice from a distance like this, but the close-up picture, I'm not very sure. Alright, so there are user pictures already over here. Let's have a look. Let's click on this one and this one. Once again, bad photography is spoiling the figure, and I can't really tell much from these pictures over here. It is so overexposed. This picture is slightly better, but yeah, the face is quite nice, so I think you can go ahead and pick one up. With a figure like this, all I care about is the face. The next figure over here, also from the Queen's Essential Quintuplets, there are 3 of them being released by any... The next here we have 3 figures being released by Alice Glint in a single month. This is painful for the wallets of any collectors who pre-ordered this series of Queen's Essential Quintuplet figures. So this is Nakano Itsuki at 27,000 yen, out on 27th. And then the next one here, out on 27th as well, Nakano Yotsuba, 27,000 yen. So that is 54,000 yen now. And then the third one here, Nakano Nino, out on 20th of July. Another 27,000 yen. So these 3 alone will cost you like 70,000 yen plus shipping. And if you have other scale figures within the same month, man, God bless you. Not a fan. I'm not a fan of this series of figures. They look nice. I don't have anything to complain about, but they feel rather out of character. Like this isn't what I see in anime, you know? So I'm not interested. Up next, okay, this figure, one of my friend has it. He bought one. Vampire Morrigan Ainsland Bishoujo statue 1/7 scale. This is a limited edition by Kotobukiya. Oh, this is the Comic Con in US. Yeah, there was a Comic Con months ago, right? Which I did not do a coverage because, yeah, I was occupied with other stuff. Oh, the one my friend owns is the regular version. This is the limited version right here. Yeah, the right one, that is the original color. I still prefer the original color, I think. That is the one my friend has. And the face expression on this figure is sublime. I think this is the figure you'll buy not just because of Morrigan itself, but the face sculpting is perfection, really. The next one here from Transformers, Black Convoy Bishoujo statue, 1/7 scale. This is also limited edition by Kotobukiya. Once again, yeah, San Diego Comic Con limited. The original color was blue color, right? Yeah. I think both looks good. Of course, I prefer the original Optimus Prime color, but the black one isn't too bad either. The next one here from AU Densetsu with Rene Bright 1/8 scale by Kotobukiya, 17,000 yen, out on 19th of July. Very reasonable pricing, of course, it's Koto after all, and as usual, I love anime girls with huge weapons. This one is no different, even though I know nothing about Rene Bright. So she is part of a set of these characters over here, and personally, I'm a huge fan of anime series where there are a lot of battles going on. It is really hard for me to recall any titles right now, but I think the best example I can give is Gakusen Toshi Asterisk. Yeah, any anime that is of a similar style involving battles between girls, characters, and so on. I love anime like this. Up next, original character Ashige-chan 1/7 skill Lucky Dealer version by Solaren Toys. So she works in a casino. 20,400 yen out on 18th of July. Solaren Toys, alright. Solaren is a Chinese brand I think I've just found out very recently, and that is a bit of a surprise to me. I'm just not a fan of the character design itself, so no matter how well made the figure is, I'm not too sure. I think it is the face. I don't like her face. Her face is very rounded in some way. Like, I wish the kind of characters I like, right? Like the face would be more elongated with a sharper chin, if that makes sense. I think the best example I can give you guys is I don't like the character designs in Madoka, for example. Like, you know, very wide oval faces. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. Up next, from Xianjian Qixia, whatever. As long we don't know how it is pronounced in Chinese, because Chinese, right, for every single spelling there are like 4 different sounds, and depending on how you pronounce it, it can mean differently. Yue Qingxu 1/8 skill by Hobby Max, Chinese brand. Okay, so this is 1,180 Chinese yuan, 1180, that would be closer to 30,000 Japanese yen. I think 25k to 30k, around that. You know, this might be an illusion created by her very high-waisted skirt, because at first glance I thought I'm looking at something similar to this Digimon called Omegamon. Yeah, very small head and very long legs. It almost feels like the entire character, 60% of the height are her legs. Maybe just an illusion right here. Next one here, we have original character by Skytube, China Fu Shitagi Akuma-chan and 1/6 skill. Seriously, I'm not a fan of figures with this kind of sitting pose because they are quite small, right? This one is only 16 centimeters, 23,000 yen, and out on 15th of July. And even by the standards of Skytube, this is a bit too plain to my liking. If you like the character design, you know something about Illustrator, you're going to buy one naturally. For me, I think it is quite nice that they could cramp in so much detail on her bikini, on her bra, whatever that is, but that is all. Up next, Jetai Junpuku Mahou Shoujo again. I think this is the third figure, right, that is out from this series this month. Akutsu Kirara by Native 1/6 skill, 27,000 yen out on 13th of July. I think this is the picture I'm going to click on. One of those giant TD, giant S figures. Not really my kind of figure, but I can certainly appreciate this figure, the details over here. The face is very nice, right? The face is very nice. The thing with Raita's artwork is that even though I'm not a fan of the proportion of the torso, the body, but the face part, I love it. This figure is no different. The next one, we have a 1/7 skill figure of power from Chainsaw Man. This is by Furio Phoenix and Mappa. 31,800 yen, very expensive. Especially for something which went on pre-order last year and coming out today. Out on 13th of July. You know, maybe because I've just covered that Optimus Prime Transformer figure earlier, this is beginning to look like another version of Optimus Prime to me because of the color scheme. The pose of the figure is nice, but I'm still leaning towards the one made by Amakuni for being my favorite figure of power. This is not bad either, but 32,000 yen for this, man. I suppose it is because Mappa got involved. Well, not really. It is because of Furio. That is the only explanation. They love to price their figures really high. Up next, okay, this is probably one of the best scale figures this month, but it is no surprise because this is by Alter from the Idolmaster Shiny Colors Serizawa Asahi 1/7 scale. This one is going for 32,800 yen out on 13th of July as well. Now look at that power figure earlier and then you compare it with this one. This one, you can justify the 33,000 yen price tag, right? Compared to that power figure earlier. Yeah. This is also one of the more unique figures out there. This is going to be an absolute headache for me if I were to photograph this figure in a diorama. But solely as a figure on its own, man, this is possibly the best scale figure this month. I am a big fan of details. I don't even collect idol figures anymore, and this figure makes me want one so much. The next one here from Apex Toys or Apex Innovation, we have 1/7 scale leaf from Punishing Grey Raven. Okay, this one is going for 19,400 yen out on 13th of July as well. This character has those science fiction vibes going on, so yeah, I kind of like it. Except for those two things which you need to support with poles, right? With all those stands. I'm not a fan of that, but then there is nothing much that can be done about it. Yeah, it looks like a man-made angel of some kind, which is supposed to protect some valuable ancient artifact. That is the vibe I'm getting over here. Maybe I'm not too far off. Let me know if you know something about this character. This is a good figure to buy. Up next, from AU Densetsu once again, we have Crow Armbrust 1/8 scale by Kotobukiya. This is 19,000 yen out on 11th July, and this is the standard version. There is a Kotobukiya limited version. This is more like DX version, other than that two-sided spear. You're getting this weaponry over here. Pistols. Not exactly pistols, I think those are gun swords, right? Of course, the limited version is better right here, but then I don't really buy dude figures. The next one here from Atelier Sophie 2, we have Sophie Nguyen-Muller, 1/7 scale by Sparko 1/. Now this is a brand I am unfamiliar with, and fortunately we have user photos over here, so we can kind of get a rough idea on what this brand is like. This is 21,800 yen out on 10th of July, and in case you're not aware of, there is a life-size 1/1 scale statue of the same exact figure over here. If I remembered correctly, it is around 4 million yen or so. Now, 4 million yen. And even if you had that money plus shipping, most likely you won't be able to purchase it, because these life-sized statues, right, you need to win the rights just to purchase it. It is more like a lottery item in Japan. Yeah, you need to win the lottery, except that when you do win the lottery, you don't win any money. Instead, you still need to fork out that million yen, that 4 million yen just to buy it. You're just winning the rights. Well, at least you get to brag about it, right? You're winning a bragging right here. Now, this figure, I really like how she is suspended on top of that books over there. And there are 8 user pictures over here. Let's have a look, because I don't know what this brand is like. Very detailed figure. I'm liking it already, but that plastic rod, that plastic rod is such an eyesore. Oh wow. Seriously, they're giving us clear plastic base over here, like clear plastic, nothing on it, that this person had to put a wooden sticker on the base. The figure itself looks nice, you know, but they're giving us clear plastic base. Seriously. This has to be one of the worst bases out there for scale figures in the recent year or so. The next one here, original character Ushio Mac 1/6 scale by Lacquerie. This is 23,400 yen out on 10th of July. Lacquerie is one of those brands that are quite similar to Kaitendo, like expect value, large figure, low pricing, but don't expect too much otherwise. And yeah, all of these are X-rated customable figures. Up next, from Date Alive 4, we have Tokisaki Kurumi again. 1/7 scale lingerie Mizugi version by Spiritiel and Wing. 32,000 yen and out on 7th of July. This has to be the 200th figure of Kurumi, right? Yeah, I know I'm exaggerating, but there are many out there. 32,000 yen is okay for this one, given the backdrop you're getting. This is quite a nice figure of Kurumi though. I actually like it. All thanks to this single photo over here. Yeah, once again, photography making people want a figure. 6 user pictures right here. Okay, the figure itself looks fine, but her dress looks a bit too plasticky. The gears as well, all those gears behind her on the backdrop, I would expect them to look a bit more metallic, like rusted metal, or used worn metal, but over here they look like plastic with shiny gold paints on it. So I am not very sure. Yeah, I am having mixed feelings right now. I don't think I like the paint finish on the backdrop part, on the decoration part at all. Up next, from FGO, we have BB Moon Cancer Nangoku Komogiro version by Outer 1x8 skill. 1x8, that is sad. I wanted it in 1x7. But anyways, she is out on 6th of July, 27,800 yen. Yes, I will be purchasing one. There are two versions, this one and there is a white version over here, fairer skin. So which one will I purchase? I will purchase the 10th skin version, you see. Because where is that? Yeah, this Yandere faceplate, I love it so much. Not to mention, this fair version, I already have the one by Good Smile. So I bought the fair version for the Good Smile. Instead, for the outer one, I will buy the 10th version. Yeah, two different types, two different varieties. And there is no way I can afford buying all two. I had to choose. So I have not purchased her yet because I'm waiting for the price to drop a bit. After all, this isn't Ichinose Asuna, which you need to get early. This is FGO. Yeah, I am expecting a nice discount before I pick one up. Up next, we have a pair of original characters, Black Bunny Aoi, 1x6 scale by Enso Toys for 17,700 yen, or you can get a set for almost 35,000 yen with this character right here. So yeah, they are meant to be a set. Are there any pictures of both of them together? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so in the end, this pair of figures over here, they are just bunny figures to me. This feels like what freeing does, but at 1x7 scale. So one of those figures which will appeal to those of you who know something about the illustrator. Otherwise, nothing special about the figure. Up next, we have another original character over here. Mochi Bunny Girl 1x7 scale STD version by Omaha. They should have named this figure Herpes version maybe. STD version, really? Of all things. Okay, so this one right here, for some reason, I feel like I'm looking at a character from Arknights. I don't know why. Maybe there is some resemblance. Is this an X-rated figure? I think it is, right? Omaha is an X-rated figure brand. I'm not going to scroll any further to save myself the trouble of censorship. Okay, this is only 16,600 yen. Yeah, this is cheap because Omaha is a Chinese figure brand. I've known that for a long time already. Now I'm starting to remember things a bit. This looks like a crossover of Arknights and Uma's Musume. Yeah, it almost looks like Uma Musume as well at the same time. And then we have Jigoku Sensei Nobe Minki 1x7 scale by Amakuni and Ami Ami. This is something classic, right? Something old. 5th of July, 18,000 yen. The details right around her legs and that arm over there, is that dragon? Is she a dragon of some kind? Oh, okay. 18,000 yen is a really good price though, considering that you can cast off the figure. And that is all for the 1x6 to 1x8 scale figures for this month. I mean July. Now we shall go through all of the 1x4 scales by freeing and also binding. I've grouped them together to make things easier for me. The first one over here we have Toru from Kobayashi Maid Dragon 1x4 scale, 35,000 yen. Okay, so Kobayashi Maid Dragon is incredibly popular. And this is something you will want to pick up if you loved the series because the value is going to go up. Like, it is almost guaranteed right here. This is the first version with stocking. If you come across one in stock and you like her, you did not pre-order, pick one up before it is too late, right? Even though this on paper, on the surface, is just a plain bunny girl figure, as I normally call it. So this kind of figure is, yeah, my opinions on these bunny figures will vary, will be different from character to character. And I don't think Toru specifically is worth picking up. The next one here, Enoshima Junko, B-Style 1x4 scale. Okay, by freeing once again, this is 35,000 yen as well. Yeah, Enoshima Junko for Danganronpa fans. To me, this is also a very good purchase. Enoshima Junko, there are not many figures of her out there, and those which were already released in the past, they are quite expensive now. So Junko is also one of those characters where I can expect their value to go up after release, maybe after a month or two. Up next, okay, this one I know nothing about. Kano Kyoko from Kano Shimai. Also a 1x4 skill B style by Free Ink, 36,000 yen. This looks like an old school anime character of some kind, and yeah, a MILF. Oh, this is castable. Why is the pantsu underneath like blue-violet color while she is wearing red outside? Man, feels like a really bad mismatch to me. This is an Obasan to me, so no, not for me. Up next, we have the most hated girl in Rental Girlfriend, 1x4 skill, Nanami Mami. I actually like her character design, and it is so unfortunate that she is an absolute asshole in the anime. But yeah, I like the character design so much. 1x4 skill by Free Ink as well. This is 35,000 yen. Yeah, if you tell me you are not picking this one up because you don't like her, I can understand it. But if I was someone who collected this set and I happen to have one missing while the other three is on my shelf, I will feel very incomplete and very restless about it. I call it incomplete set syndrome. It is actually a thing when there are 5 characters, 4 characters, and you happen to have 1 or 2 missing. You just don't like that feeling. Yeah, I call it chronic incomplete set syndrome in some way, or restless syndrome. The next 1x4 here, yeah, we have Dustiness Fort Lalatina, or just Darkness, right? I just call her Darkness. 1x4 skill. This is the Bare Leg Bunny version, which means this is a re-release. There was a separate release in the past with those stockings. Only 25,000 yen though. Everyone's making Aqua and Megumin. Darkness, she does have her own skill figures, but not as many, I think. Up next, okay, this is one of the better bunny figures this month. Power, 1x4 skill. This is 36,000 yen, and Power is one of those characters which I can also recommend you guys to pick one up, even though this is a plain bunny girl, like I'm always saying every week, you know. I don't think Free Ink will mess up the face. I think the face will define everything about this figure, and specifically for Power, this is worth picking up. The next 1x4 is Rimuru Tempest by Free Ink, 35,000 yen. So this one, yeah, he looks really embarrassed by it. And why would I want a figure of a dude in bunny suit? I'm not very sure. Well, he does not really have a gender because he is a slime, you know. If he wanted to reproduce, you just have to go through binary fission. There is no need for sexual reproduction. Yeah. Alright, the next 1x4 skill. Okay, this is in cooperation with Mega House. Matsumoto Rangiku B-Style 1x4 skill. This is also 36,000 yen. Now, there is no release date in MFC, but this figure is indeed already out, right? Rangiku, well, if you are not a fan of this one, there are plenty of third-party resin figures out there for you to choose from, so it is not really an issue over here. If you don't like this one, this is not a bunny figure, interestingly. The next 1x4 here, this is by Binding original character Olivia 1x4 skill at 36,000 yen as well. I have always wondered why people like this excretion pose, this defecation pose, squatting pose. We call it the Asian toilet squat pose. Yeah. I have no idea why people like it so much. They find it very attractive, but specifically for this character, I think I can understand why. I would love to have this on my shelf. Well, I suppose that it is the character design, and there is no symmetry over here, right? You see the stockings on her right and left leg, they are different. And there is something really nice about this asymmetry over here that I really like. Once again, this is one of those figures where it all depends on whether they screw up the face or not. If the face is exactly as we get in these pictures, they are worth picking up. So let's have a look at, wow, 91 user pictures. This is a really popular figure. So I'm not the only one who really likes this figure, you see. And can we have some nice pictures, please? Are there anyone who took nice pictures of this figure? Yes, the face on this figure is excellent. I think they nailed it. It is the same as the photos in the prototypes in the official product photos. Go and get this one. The next one here, X-rated figure. Binding Creators Opinion Chelsea 1x4. This is going for 31,000 yen only. This is just a bunny girl with her unusually round opie exposed. Yeah, so the shape of the boobies here are a bit unnatural, but then don't expect logic from anime, right? And the last 1x4 skill, also Binding Creators Opinion series, Karasuma Rin. This one is going for 40,000 yen. Okay, BDSM. Quite a nice figure, to be honest, just that the colors are on the monotonous side of things because everything is just black color. Yeah. And then the next series of figures we shall go through very quickly are pop-up parades. So these figures over here looking on screen, yeah, these are the pop-up parades that came out this month, quite a few of them. So the first one here, we have a pair of figures from Nekopara, Chocola, this one right here, and also Vanilla. Yeah, these are pop-up parades and they are out in July. I think these two are out in late July. Cocktail dress version, 4,364 yen, so more like 4,800 yen including taxes. Yep. The next one here, we have Penny Polendina from Ruby. Pop-up parade also out, 4,800 yen as well including taxes. Now Ruby is worth picking up because the scales are quite expensive if I remember correctly, so if you don't have that deep of a pocket, worth picking up the pop-up parades, but after checking user photos, right? Up next we have Tsukishima K, yeah, that really tall guy on Hinata's team in Haikyuu. I actually enjoyed this anime so much. I am not a fan of sports anime in general, but Haikyuu is one of those rare exceptions where I watched all the way to the end. So this one is also 4,800 yen. The next one, we have two figures from Gozen Maiden, Sousei Seki, 4,800 yen as well, and also Sui Seiseki. Yeah, it is so difficult to pronounce the names. Okay, not really a fan of it. This is also really old. I think this was from the year 2000s as well. The original Gozen Maiden at least. And then the third season came out way later, like just a few years ago. Up next, we have Aharin-san. Pop-up parade, also 4,800 yen. And if you did not like this figure, not a problem at all because there are other price figures out there, right? There are many choices for this character. The next pop-up parade, we have Isagi Yoichi from Blue Lock, also out. 4,800 yen as well. This one is not a bad purchase either if they do get the face right. All I care for is the face over here. Next one here from Double SS Dyna Xenon, we have Mujina, 4,800 yen as well. This is one of the better looking pop-up parades, though I would be interested to see how they paint the gold color trims on her coat right there. That is not easy for a low cost figure. Alright, the next one we have Sumiki Mikan from Danganronpa, pop-up parade, also 4,800 yen. There are not many scale figures of this character, right? If I remembered correctly, not many choices out there. Fats Company would have at least made a figure of her at some point, I think. Fats Company was on a spree making Danganronpa figures back between year 2010 to 2015 or so. Yeah, they made quite a number. The next one here, okay, I have no idea what is this thing. Bravely Default Flying Fairy Adiali. This is 4,800 yen as well. What is this thing even? And the next one here, okay, we have Misaki Mei from Another. This is nostalgic. The anime was from year 2010, 2012 or so, early 2010s, right? Old anime. And this one is 4,800 yen as well. This is the limited version. The regular version has an eye patch and I still prefer the regular version because I think in the anime, like this is her trademark, that eye patch over there. So to remove it, I'm not so sure if that is appropriate. I would rather have two different face plates, but then this is a pop-up parade, right? You're not going to get that. The next one is Faputa from Made in Abyss, also 4,800 yen now. Made in Abyss characters, yeah, I don't see Good Smile screwing up this one, and if you couldn't afford the scales out there, there are quite a few choices out there. Yeah, they are not bad purchases. There are no fine details, right? Those very intricate parts for Good Smile to mess up over here with this series. Next one, okay, the next one from this point onwards, we are going through figures that are being re-released. This figure came out before in the past. There are like 6 or 8 figures I would like to cover over here. So the first one here, pop-up parade Inugami Korone. The first release was not good at all. I reviewed the figure on this channel, by the way. And also Nekomata Okayo, which wasn't good as well. Yeah, there were a lot of QC issues with the paintwork, and these two are being re-released simply because regardless of the problems on the paintwork, the demand was so high that you need to pay 9,000 to 10,000 yen each for one of these, which was ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. At least they are now getting re-released, and hopefully the new release is way better in QC. I really hope they do that. The next one here, okay, this figure of Shiro. I used to own this figure by Fats Company many years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. This figure came out back in year 2016 and 2018. This is the third release, right? And she is going for only 16,200 yen. This figure is a bargain. Even the very first release back in year 2015-16 or so, the quality, the paintwork on this was fabulous. And some people asked me, would you sell me those GB figures down there, like only those GB figures? But in the end, yeah, I sold the figure anyway, the entire figure, including everything, because I needed to fund other purchases. This one is a really good figure by Fats Company back then. I don't think it would be any different today. The next re-release would be this figure of Holo 1/7 scale. I call it Cabbage version because her dress looks like cabbage. This is limited extra color version by Questq. Okay, this is a Wonder Festival exclusive. The original version was closer to white, plain white color, I think. And once again, I think I covered this figure before in Figure News Fix. Yeah, it looks like cabbage to me. I'm not sure if I like it at all. The next re-release, yeah, we have Sakurai Momoka from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls 1/7 scale by Plum. This one came out in year 2018, 5 years ago, for 12,000 yen, and now she is 14,000 yen today. So that is not a big increase, considering they are just trying to offset the depreciating currency, the Japanese yen, right? So yeah, the price is not bad, but this is a very plain and simple figure in the end, which is why she is so cheap. The next re-release, also the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, Yusa Kozue 1/7 scale by Plum, came out in year 2020 and now re-released in year 23. Now this is one of the nicer figures out there because yeah, we're getting a table fan over there and she is cooling off herself. In a way, this is also a mini diorama, just that a very simple one, and I really appreciate figures like this, right? I like this quite a bit. The next figure over here, okay, this is also a really old figure, Sonico 1/6 scale Paisura Bikini version by Kaitendo. This figure, I've seen it in person before. It is actually okay for a Kaitendo figure. Third release, year 2015, year 2020, and now year 2023. Now, the one thing that doesn't make sense with this figure is that, why is her right arm underneath the bikini? Why did she trap her arm underneath a bikini? I don't get it over here. The pose does not make any sense at all. And until today, I still don't have the answer to this question of mine, other than just fan service. The next re-release, we have Prince Eugen by Dreamtech and at 1/8 scale. This is a second release. First time back in year 2020 and now 2023. Prince Eugen, you know, my favorite one. You guys also know the answer. Yes, the one by Outer, though that one was really expensive, 30,000+ yen, I think. And even the Outer one was being re-released also. This one I don't like this at all because I'm seeing plastic gods all over the place and I am not a fan of that at all. The next re-release, this is a very old figure, Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, Kotobukiya 1/8 scale at FXJ. Now this figure, or rather this anime, Yu Yu Hakusho, is being recycled to death on some local anime channels over here on our satellite TV. Like Animax, they just recycle the whole thing and air it over and over again, you know. So this one first came out in year 2012, more than 10 years ago, and then re-released once in 2018 and now 2023. This is the third release. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho, a real classic. You either love it or you hate it. For me, I don't like it that much. And the last re-release of the month, this is a really good one from Fantasy Star Online. So we have Jean 1/7 scale, or Genie. Genie, is it? By Kotobukiya, and this is the figure I kept repeating over and over again in my Figure News Fix. If you are looking for a figure of Jean or Genie, go for the one by Kotobukiya because she is coming out soon, and there you go. This one right here. First came out in year 2020, this is the second release, and this is possibly the best scale figure of her out there. Yeah, the best one. And she does not cost too much, so pick one up if you love her. This is only 17,000 yen. Yep. And that is all for skill figures released in July. Those that has an actual release date, right? We are not done yet. A few more to go. So this page, if I scroll all the way down after Saturday 1st of July, you see a bunch of figures at the bottom and the next 2 pages. These are the figures which are supposed to be out in July, but they do not have a solid release date. They only have a release month, right? Some figure brands, they don't announce a figure release date. Eastream is one of those. And then some Phoenix figures, they don't have a date as well. And many Chinese brands, they don't have a release date too. Okay, so there is a 50-50 chance the figures in this section, they are already out or they might already be delayed. So I've selected a number of figures to cover. Now, of course, only female characters I'm covering, and those very X-rated figures by Insight, Beeful, and so on, which is a pain to censor. I'm skipping past them so you can go to this page and check it out yourself, right? The first one over here, this is by Orchid Seed, 1/6 scale, Comic Kairakuten 20th cover girl. This is the cover of a light novel or something like that. I'm not too sure. Supposed to be out in July for 20,500 yen, but there is no release date. This one over here, this figure was announced so many years ago, and then Orchid Seed kept delaying it over and over again for so many years. I'm not sure how people can remain so interested in the figure for 3 years, 5 years while getting nothing in return, right? Okay, so this figure, in stock. So this figure is already out. The next one here is by Eastream. We have Pecorin from Princess Connect, 28,500 yen, supposed to be out in July. In stock in Nin Game and Solaris Japan, but already went up to 51,000 yen. Yeah, so this figure is already out. And this is one of a few figures by Eastream that has effect parts going on, but I actually like it quite a bit because it is not too excessive, right? And the details on her outfit, her body, I love it so much. I am a fan of details on a figure. Unfortunately, this is pretty expensive now. If you are only starting to look for one today, I recommend going to Taobao, to China's website, and try to hunt it there. You might be able to find her for the original MSRP price. The next one here, also Shibuya Scramble figure, also Eastream, figure of Tokisaki Kurumi from Date a Bullet. This one is 42,000 yen, supposed to be out in July as well. Like I said earlier, Eastream, they just don't announce their release dates. This one looks very nice, way nicer than the other one by Spiritiel earlier. In stock in Nin Game for 53,000 yen. Up next, we have Hatsune Miku 1/7 scale Miku Expo 2021 online version by Alpha Max. 33,800 yen is really expensive for this one, and okay, Animota is saying this is already released, but Solaris Japan and Nin Game is saying this is on pre-order. So I'm not too sure if this is even out. I'm guessing this figure is already being delayed. Yeah, this is a delay. And 33,800 yen for this, it feels rather overpriced. The outfit is quite unique, I have to admit that. But 34,000 yen for this, she is wearing a globe. Okay. No, I mean, I can't recommend this Miku figure, I'm not sure. The next one here from Overlord 4, Lupus Regina Beta 1/8 scale Sobin version by Outer. So if there is no release date on an Outer figure, most likely she has been delayed, right? Outer, they have a release date normally. Okay, let's have a look at the comments section. Nin Game is saying it is in stock. But Solaris Japan is saying it is on pre-order. So I'm not sure at all. You'll just have to wait for the invoice. If you have already received an invoice for this figure, that means the figure is out, but I can't be sure at this point. The next one here, we have Sayonji Mary from Honey Strap 1/7 scale by Wanderer. This one's supposed to be out in July for 16,200 yen. Now, this isn't a very detailed figure. I can already tell from this picture. I mean, look at the hair over there, right? Whenever you want to know whether a figure is detailed or not, the first clue is the hair. Now, you see the hair strands, it is only at the very edges over here where you can see some very shallow sculpting. Meanwhile, the top of the hair is like just flat with nothing on it. So that kind of gives you an idea. And of course, the price of this figure reflects that. Now, this figure is, once again, some are saying it is in stock, some are saying it is on pre-order, so we don't know for sure. The next one here, we have a 1x4 scale figure of Nanachi from Made in Abyss. This is by Phoenix, and since we are talking about Phoenix, there is a possibility this figure is already out. Yeah, 1x4 scale. What was the price again? 77,000 yen, man. Ooh. What is the size? Oh, 40 centimeters. Okay. Yeah, this is already out, as you can see. This is already out. Phoenix, once again, they don't have a release date on every figure they make. The next one here, this is by Bfull. I can't recommend Bfull figures in general unless you really want a figure of that very specific character. Supposed to be out in July as well. This one right here, 17,800 yen, and yeah, she is already out. The next one here, we have Suruga from Azalane by Phoenix, 1x7 scale. This is 26,000 yen. It is Phoenix after all, right? Okay, and she is already out, right? Yeah, there you go. Already released. However, this is far from my favorite Azalane figures. I can easily think of 10 different figures from Azalane that are better than this one. The next one here, My Shiranui 1x4 scale by Epoch Studios. This has to be a resin, a polystone figure. And it goes for... There is no price mentioned here. This must be like super limited or something. Yeah, this has to be an incredibly limited figure. 4,600 Chinese yuan. Now, this figure of My Shiranui is fantastic. Wow. This is really nice, of course. You look at the fine texture on her outfit over there. I am a fan of that. The next one here, Tenito, which is Furio, right? Elena from Majono Tabi Tabi. This is 5,400 yen and she is supposed to be out in July as well. This is one of the better looking Tenito figures out there. Yeah, she is already out. Animota is asking 10,000 yen. Solaris Japan 7,300 yen. Seriously. Ninin game is on pre-order in Ninin game. See, this is the problem. This is a low cost, low budget figure. Do not pay 10,000 yen for this thing, seriously. Don't. I would rather you save up a bit longer and go for a higher quality scale figure. If you are going to pay 10,000 yen plus for a figure like this, right? Just save up longer. Quality is better than quantity when it comes to collecting figures. Up next, we have Sachi from Sword Art Online by Alice Glint. This one is 19,800 yen, supposed to be out in July as well, and there are not many scale figures of Sachi out there. Yeah. For me, if I were to buy figures from SAO, right, there are only two characters I would buy, Asuna and Alice, and I don't care about the rest. Okay, so with this figure already released, Up next, from Girls Frontline, we have OTS 1x8 scale by Reverse Studio, Chinese brand, 21,000 yen. Okay, and this figure is out. Yeah, even if this figure is not yet out in Japanese websites, most likely she is already released in Chinese websites, right? Chinese brands, sometimes there is some minor exclusivity going on where they release it a month or two earlier compared to the international release. Initially, I thought the figure was quite plain, and then when we look at the other side of the figure, wow, there is so much details going on. Yeah, from this angle, it looks plain. Oh, okay, you're getting a huge suitcase over there now. This figure is starting to appeal to me a bit more. Initially, I was trying to write off the figure as nothing special. Next one here, 1x7 scale Amiya from Arknights by Apex. This is supposed to be out as well, 16,400 yen. It is not yet released. I thought this is already out. This figure has been delayed, and yeah, 16,000 yen, no brainer. If you like this figure, yeah, go ahead and pick one up. This won't be rare, right? You can wait until after release before buying. I don't expect this to become rare at all. Color is on the monotonous side of things, unfortunately. Next one here, I need to bookmark this figure. I need to add this to my wished section at least. I kept telling myself to buy this figure. This is possibly going to be my very first Arknights figure, right? And there is no release date yet. I like this so much. Okay, 25,800 yen, and Oh, she is already out. I need to hunt for her in Chinese websites, I think. Maybe for my August budget, I'm going to buy something else rather than a FGO figure. I'm not too sure. And this is the version without the motorcycle, which I think you should skip it. Save up a bit more, go for the one with the motorcycle, right? The next one here from Punishing Grey Raven, we have 1x7 skill lift by unknown model. Yeah, just now the other one was by Apex Toys. This one is 24,800 yen, supposed to be out in July as well. I'm starting to see quite a number of skill figures from Punishing Grey Raven, though I still don't know what game this is yet. I think I prefer the one by Apex Toys a bit. This figure is in stock, so she is already out. Wow, no comments at all at the bottom. No one is buying it, I think. No one is buying this figure. And the last figure, also the same character. This one is... There are two variants of the very same figure, I think. Okay, this has a different face expression, as you can see. I don't know which one to pick. And if I had to pick one, I would buy the one by Apex earlier. So this one is also already out. I'm pretty disappointed with how both versions turned out. The sculpted prototype pics on H-Point looked so good, and then they had to ruin it after painting. That is exactly what I felt as well. And I'm glad other people are thinking the same thing. Well, I just mentioned it. I prefer the Apex version, easily. And that concludes all of the figures released in July 2023. Which figures are you purchasing from July? Yeah, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, as usual, please give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this figure news in general in the future. And until then, see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.